If you want to be able to play with a powerful blues guitar rhythm, then you want to start to understand how the best players combine chords, bass lines, riffs, and even single notes all at once in their rhythm playing. And this basically gives you the feeling of an entire band grooving in the rhythm. And if you do this right behind singers or other musicians, they're going to love playing with you because you're going to be able to really fill out the sound. And it's also super satisfying to do. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. Now, a lot of musicians get stuck playing in typical guitar keys. For example, they'll play, in the key of E, like a blues in E or a blues in A, which are all great guitar keys, but a lot of times when you go out and play with other musicians, whether that's piano players or horn players, you'll find that they like to play in keys like F and B flat. They don't really like to play in guitar keys as much, and so you want to be able to play the blues in any key. So this example is going to be in the key of B flat, a very common blues guitar key outside of the guitar world. And so here's what it sounds like. A 1, 2, 3. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about is the core chords that I'm using. So we're in the key of B flat, and these are like, big band sounding chords, or T-Bone Walker would play these all the time, a lot of Texas blues musicians. And so I've got a B flat 9. Now this is just on the middle strings here. And sometimes you can bar the high string. If you want to bar that, that's great. I do that sometimes, and then sometimes I just play 4 notes there. Okay, so that's going to be for our B flat. I'm putting the bass note there. But that's the idea, is the root is there, so it doesn't have a root in it unless you bar it up top. So that would be the 1 chord. Now the 4 chord, check this out. Oh, I love this chord. And it's an E flat 9, but I put the B flat in the bass. And that's a real kind of old school sound. And then the 5 chord, I do the same thing. So now you can do this, that's fine. Just a typical dominant 9th, but there's just something about having the 5th in the bass that sounds really cool on guitar. So that's the first part. Now, if you really want to have a strong command of the blues language and play in this style, one of the things you have to know is how to play your blues scale anywhere on the fretboard. And if you've struggled with this, I want to give you a gift. Just go to johnmclennan.com/bluescales and download my free blues scale PDF guide. On this, I'm going to show you the 5 easiest and fastest ways to play it anywhere on the fretboard. And this is so important if you want to be able to solo and play the blues with confidence. So it's completely for free. Just go to johnmclennan.com/bluescales and grab that now. So remember, I said that we're going to combine all these different elements. We have like chords. We've also got a serious shuffle groove going on with the strum hand. So you want to start to get this 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 8th note swing. Okay, so I'm just counting 1 and 2, but it's not straight. It's not 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. It's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now sometimes I'll drag that pick, and it's really, it's a complicated rhythm. It's a part of a 16th note triplet that da 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 da. It's, if you count a 16th note triplet, I count them as biddly diddly, so biddly diddly, biddly diddly, biddly. There's 6 to 1 beat. Okay, so it's the, let's see, biddly, diddly. It's the diddly. So diddly, da 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 diddly. So sometimes I will drag that pick, right? And that gets me like an example, like, right, right there. Okay, so we're gonna hear that rhythm, but the underlying groove is an 8th note swing. Now I'm playing a little single note line there, 10, 8, 10. And that leads me into this little B flat 7, which looks like that chord, but I just do a little hammer on into it. And then I drop my hand, I'm playing the backbeat there, which is almost like being a drummer, like 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2. And then and. On the and of 2, I play that B flat 9. So, see that? Okay, then I do that little backwards right into, it's actually an E flat triad there, like this chord here, but I just grab 3 strings of it and then hammer back into that B flat 7. And that's a common move you hear in the blues all the time, like Stevie Ray Vaughan would go. Right, so, or that kind of sound. So backing up, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. Then again. And then here, there's your T-bone walker, right? So that's a D9 over A to an E flat 9 over B flat. Sounds like complicated chords, but it's really just the same thing, but that's really kind of detailing out exactly what T-bone walker would do. Okay, so then here I go, 1, 2, and 3, and then, right? That's some Stormy Monday right there. Like, if you like that kind of playing, check out the Stormy Monday lesson on my channel. But here we're going, leaning into that, you know, or walking into that, and then sliding this up, and then back down, and then back to the riff. Same as before, okay? So here's the first 8 bars. Now it comes in on the pickup, as a pickup, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and of 3 and 4 and. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, and 3. 4 chord. Okay, now here. So check this out. Before, when I went into the 4 chord, I walked in from below. Now here for the 5 chord, I'm coming in from above. Ah, love that sound. And I heard that on the Bobby Blue Bland version of Stormy Monday. Wayne Bennett is the guitar player, and he would do those kinds of chords all the time. So here we go. 4, 1, 2, and then bum, bum, bum. Nice triplet rhythm there. 1, 2, and triple it. 1, 2, and. Then here, I play the 5 chord, F7. And that's just a standard, it looks like a C chord here, but I add the pinky on. Very common blues chord. And then I just go. Another common T-bone walker thing is, you know, you take the chord and you just move it up a half step and then back down. Okay, it's like this is literally the worst chord you could play against it because you're 1 fret off, but for whatever reason, it's just tension and resolution. It sounds so good. So. All right, so let's go through this entire 12-bar blues. Again, there's a lot in there. You can see the chords. You can see little licks. You've got riffs. And it's all coming together with the groove. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. So that's how to play a swingin' blues rhythm that dips into T-Bone Walker and big band styles and early blues and shuffles like with a Stevie Ray Vaughan kind of feel. So practice that and you'll be surprised how this is really just gonna ramp up your rhythm. Now if you wanna be able to solo over this and if you wanna be able to play your own kind of blues grooves like this and come up with riffs and phrases, then make sure you grab my free blues scale PDF guide. Just go to johnmclennan.com/bluescales and you can download this completely for free. And on it, I'm going to show you the 5 easiest and fastest ways to start playing the blues scale anywhere on the fretboard. And this is a core fundamental of this style, and it actually applies to a ton of other music as well. In fact, anytime I play a solo, pretty much anything in any style, I'm still being influenced by the blues. And once you can hear this scale, you'll start to notice it in all your favorite songs as well. So just go to johnmclennan.com/bluescales and grab that now. As always, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. And if you liked this one, I think you'll really like this video next.